Hey guys, Spooky Noodles, and I am here with a book haul part 1. I wanted to do this book haul because I'm very excited about the books I got, and it was from some amazing people on my Book of Horror and Book Swap Club Facebook groups. I can't recall the names exactly of them, but I think I did that right. Books of Horror and the Horror Book Swap group. So those two groups are awesome, and they have some great people in them. And I got some great books from them from trades. I would trade them a book. I can't remember the books I traded for these ones, but yeah. And one I actually was gifted a book. They just saw that I was looking for a Richard Laymon, and they went out and got me a copy. So, that was amazing. So, I appreciate every single person who either traded or got me a book. And with that being said, let's start off this book haul. And this book haul, you'll see a theme, because most of these books are by one author. And actually, all these books are by one author. And that author is Richard Laymon. And we will start off with my Halloween read. And that is Richard Laymon's All Hallows Eve. I'll read the back for you guys. Nothing usual ever happens in Ashburg until a local family are horribly mutilated and left to die in their own home. Since that night, the old Sherwood house has stood dark and abandoned, a constant reminder of the horrific killings. But when mysterious invitations begin to arrive announcing a party to be held there, nobody thinks it's a joke. After all, on Hallows Eve, everyone wants to party in a house of death. So, yeah. And it says it has two blurbs from Dean Koontz and Stephen King, like they usually do, and then it says also available from Headline Feature, and all his books are there. So I'm very excited about this book in particular. This is going to be my October read, and it's not his biggest book, so I should be able to, I wouldn't say breeze through it. How many pages is this? 246. So I finished this in a week probably, so it will be a fun October read. I'll probably read this and then maybe two other books, maybe one other book. It depends on how big the book is. But I plan on reading Halloween-themed books, and this one is going to be the first one I read in October. Maybe I'll start it a little bit sooner, just so I can get the spooky vibes early. But that's the first book in the book haul, part 1. Second book is One Rainy Night by, of course, Richard Laymon. Let me read the back for you guys. A strange black rain falls like a shroud on a small town of Bixby. It comes down to torrents, warm and unnatural. I said that wrong, but whatever. And as it falls, the town changes. One by one, the inhabitants fall prey to its horrifying effect. One by one, they become filled with hate and rage, and the need to kill. Formerly friendly neighbors turn to crazed maniacs. A stranger at a gas station shoves a nozzle down a customer's throat and pulls the trigger. A soaking wet line of moviegoers smashes its way into the theater and slaughters the people inside. A loving wife attacks her husband, still beating his head against the floor long after he's dead. As the rain falls, blood flows in the gutters, and terror runs through the streets. That's One Rainy Night by Richard Laymon. Now we're getting to some really good stuff here. And I heard wonderful things about this book in particular. And the last 3 books, I believe... Well, I'm not going to say who gave me which book because I can't remember them all. So that would be unfair if I say one person's name and not everyone's name. But this was gifted to me by a good guy. They were all gifted to me by good people. And I appreciate every single one of you guys. But let's just continue going on. This book is by Richard Laymon, obviously. And that is Night in the Lonesome October. Look at that cover. It's pretty neat. You got the knife in her eye, and they got like the light that kind of is the shape of a knife, and blah blah blah. I can't talk today. But I think that's a pretty cool cover. Let me read the back to you. Everything changed for Ed that day in the fall semester when he got the letter from Holly, the girl he loved. And the book I am reading currently is kind of like this one, I think. But let me go on. Dear Ed, it began, I will always cherish the times we had. Holly was in love with someone else. It was as if his whole world had changed in a second. That night, heartbroken and half mad with despair, Ed couldn't sleep. So he decided to go for a walk. But it's a dark, scary night in the lonesome October, and Ed is not alone. There are others out there in the night, roaming the streets, lurking in the darkness, waiting to show Ed just how different his world would be. Some of them are enticing, like the beautiful girl who wants to teach Ed about the wonders of the night. Some are disturbing and threatening. Some are deadly and in search of prey. And it's got some blurbs in the back here, one by Bentley Little. I didn't even know Bentley Little blurbed him. But this might be another October read for me. I don't know. All Hallows Eve kind of got my attention because it's, All Hallows Eve. But Night in the Lonesome October looks to be very, very good. I mean, everyone's been there. We all been heartbroken, So I'm already feeling for him, I mean, obviously, Richard Laymon's probably gonna throw in some reasons not to like him. Let's just read. I'm so excited. I just want to read all these books right now. I'm actually well, I'll talk about that later. Next is Richard Laymon's Beware. Let me read the back for you. Elsie knew something weird was happening in her small supermarket when she saw a meat cleaver fly through the air all by itself. Everyone else realized it when they found Elsie in the butcher's slab the next morning, neatly jointed and wrapped. An unseen horror has come to town, leaving a blood-drenched trail of carnage in his wake, and his victims are about to learn a terrifying lesson. What you can't see can very definitely hurt you. Now, I've seen some people say this book is not that great, but I don't know. I'm gonna give it my own opinion, like I try to do with every Richard Laymon novel, because so far out of the 3 I've read, if you count Triage, that would be 4. So, I've read The Woods Are Dark, The Traveling Vampire Show, Triage, and I'm currently reading Bite. So, I'm really digging this guy's writing. It's like I'm not reading a book. It's like I'm watching a movie. It's really entertaining. That's Beware. And then this one is a thickie. This one's a thickie, and that is After Midnight by Richard Laymon. Let me read the back for you. Alice has quite a story to tell you. That's not her real name, of course. She couldn't give her real name, not after all the things that she reveals about herself in this book. All of her adventures, and all that killing. She wouldn't want the police to find her, now would she? It started out so nice. Alice was house sitting for her friend, enjoying having the whole place to herself, with the sunken bathtub and big screen television. But everything went wrong that first night when she looked out the window and saw a strange man jumping naked into the swimming pool. Alice just knew he would be coming to get her, like all those other men before, but she would never be a victim again. Not after she remembered the old Civil War saber hanging in the. Not after she remembered the old Civil War saber hanging in the living room. I don't know why that sentence was so hard for me to read, but man. That's After Midnight. It sounds like a final girl's revenge type story, which seems interesting. But as you see, there's a lot of pages in this book. Let's see here. It is 438 pages about a final girl, so that's neat. And last but not least, got this big one, and that's Flesh by Richard Laymon. Of course, as you gathered, I shall read the back for you. Something deadly has come to town, a slimy, slithering thing, like nothing anyone has ever seen before. With its dull eyes and its hideous mouth, it's always hunting for a new host to burrow into, and humans are the perfect prey. But the truly shocking part is not that what it does to you when it invades your body. It's what it makes you do to others. And that's Flesh. And I've heard good things about this book in particular. I'm not only do I have this book and now I can read it, but I'm hoping to, because I really like these trade paperback sizes. And this one's big, and I'm going to enjoy the crap out of this book. You know, I'm going to read it. It's brand new. It's brand spanking new. And this is one I got from, I can't remember his name at the moment, but really good guy. He was just like, hey, you're looking for Richard Laymon? I got you. You know, I was like, oh, what you want to trade for? Excuse me. He's like, no, I got you. And I was like, cool. So he brought me this brand new. I really am looking forward to reading this book. But this one's so new, I don't even want to open this up, you know? Like, I'm thinking about maybe this being my showcase book and then buying a trade paperback, like those sizes, to, like, look at the size difference. You can't really see, can you? There you go. So yeah, the trade paperbacks are obviously smaller, but I don't care about that really. I'm really just for the story, so I'm excited to read this book. I'm gonna read this probably. I mean, I don't want to ruin it, you know, but I also want to get the trade paperback as well, because it also has a different cover. It has like a hand reaching out of the ground or something, or maybe it's just a hand decaying slowly, but it's really cool, and I'm looking forward to getting that book. But I'm so happy I got this particular version, because, well, I'm collecting them all, so, you know. But that's part one of my Richard Laymon Book Haul. That's what we'll call it. And yeah, tell me what you think. Tell me what your favorite Richard Laymon book is. For me, I'm most excited to read this one. This is gonna be my October read, though. So, you know, I'm gonna read it during October. And I can read you the first. Oh, it has a little thing of all the books he's written. I've got most of them. I'm missing Midnight's Lair, but I think it's coming in the mail. I'm missing Resurrection Dreams. I just got Night Show. Yeah. Clara Hayes had lived alone in the last house on Oakhurst Road ever since a heart attack struck her husband at the top of the stairs and... Oh wow, that's a run-on sentence. Very excited about this book though. So anyways, I probably, sorry. I hope you enjoyed this part 1 of my Richard Laymon Book Haul. I'm very excited to give these books a read, especially All Hallows Eve. But I'm waiting till October or at least the end of September to read it. So, but yeah, give me your guys' TBR. Right now I'm doing 2 TBRs, or read-alongs, or whatever you want to call them. I have a coming of age to be read series where I have books like Voice in the Night by Dean Koontz, Douglas Clegg's Neverland. I've already listened. I just finished Boy's Life by Robert R. McCammon. I read The Traveling Vampire Show. I got I think it's Shadowlands by Peter Straub. So I got a few books in the coming of age TBR, and then I have the Richard Laymon TBR, and I'm going very strong with the Richard Laymon. I was reading Triage and I finished Richard Laymon's story, and I was getting into Edward Lee's, and I was like, this is supposed to be a Richard Laymon read through, so I decided to pull away from Triage and come back to it later on and finish the book. But I feel like I'm doing a Richard Laymon TBR and a coming of age TBR, so I'm switching back and forth. I'm doing Richard Laymon, then I'm doing coming of age. I'm doing audiobooks and I'm reading a book. So I just finished Boy's Life on audio, and I'm currently reading Bite by Richard Laymon. So next I'm either going to do an audiobook of Neverland, or an audiobook of Peter Straub's Shadowlands, or Voice in the Night by Dean Koontz, if these audiobooks are available, of course. But anyways, give me what you're reading. Give me your TBR. Tell me your favorite Richard Laymon book. As it is, or as always, it's Spooky Noodles, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Alright, bye.